Hi, it's me again, Kenya, and I wanted to come on here today to basically, you know, talk about something that I have heard from two young people, two young adults. Basically, I wanted to address this could be for anybody, but especially young people because they're growing up in a time where technology is going really fast. And when you're young, you have all these hopes. You think about what you're going to do when you get older. You make all these plans, and sometimes your plans, when you get to finally become 18, and whatever, that age that you feel like you're a grown up, and you start moving on your own, you seem like your plans are not happening. You seem like your dreams, the things that you would think that was going to happen at this age, at that age, or anybody. I mean, I'm 43, like I had mentioned in my past, I'm saying my past, basically my last YouTube video. I'm 43 and I'm single, and I have never been married. And for so many years, I thought I would have been married by now. Finally, thank God I'm got to a point that I'm okay with that. But during that time that you're just wanting something so bad, it could be very depressing. It could be hard. And the young people that I spoke to, they feel very frustrated. They feel very depressed. One has shared that they feel like nothing is working in their life. Everything is just not working out, and they feel very depressed. And that person is doing certain things to cope with that. And I just want to share with anybody that feels frustrated in life. First I want to say that it's life. Life is not like totally easy. Life is full of challenges, but you have to overcome them. You have to understand that, like the most successful people were faced with many failures. They had, tried one thing and it didn't work, another thing and it didn't work. Just like creating a light bulb, like thousands, I don't know if it was I forget how many that Thomas Edison, I don't know, hope that's the right person's name, but anyways, the person who created the electricity had many failures. That's part of just learning and seeing what works and what does not work. So, I just want to encourage you to understand that you should not beat yourself up about it, and just understand that life has challenges. Your part is to stay focused and do what is working while you're learning what's not working, and enjoy life. I understand that there's IG and TikTok and YouTube and Facebook, and a lot of times people post things that are they it's basically good posts, like they're enjoying life and all of this amazing things. But sometimes these people are not posting their frustrations. They're not posting the challenges that they're having. Life is not a whole big old party and you're on vacation all the time. Life, it still can be enjoyable. Today I took a nice walk. There's a park. You can have a picnic. You can read a book. There's simple things that you could do just to enjoy life. Okay, so you need to understand that, life is not about just a ball. It's not a party. And the quicker you get that understanding, the quicker you're going to be able to oh, okay, it's all right. All right, because if you do not have that mindset, you're going to turn to things that are going to do you a lot of harm. You're going to suffer unnecessarily. So, also, I wanted to share with you, you have to learn to face those emotions. Sometimes we turn to things like drinking or smoking weed because we don't want to feel, but the feelings that you have are normal. I want to say that once again, they're normal. It's okay to feel anxiety. It's okay to feel depressed. It's part of life. I remember I went through a very long season of being depressed. I mean, I was crying. I used to be, serving in this church I was going to. I was serving in the children's church crying. I was in the back of my parents' car crying. I would be crying every day, all day. I even cried so much, I remember my chest was hurting. I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital. But one thing I did, I kept, seeking the Lord. I kept on just, spending time with him. I did not give up. I'm telling you, I was depressed for over a year. And I remember one day, I was getting ready to go to church. Let me lift this up. I remember one day I was getting ready to go to church, and I felt it lifting. First, I was ironing my clothes, and I was like, I don't know what, it just came to my mind. I was like, no more of this Satan. And then I was like, just saying, no more of this. And I felt it lifting. I felt the depression lifting. It was like, I was feeling like, wait a minute, I'm not as sad as I used to be. And eventually it left. So sometimes we go through seasons of like that also, because these seasons that, when we go through hard things, it helps us in our heart. It helps us. It says it's better to be in a house of mourning than in a house of feasting. I think that's in the book of Proverbs or Ecclesiastes probably. And I believe that scripture because the Lord gave me that scripture way before I went through a season of like hard things. And I believe it was like, it just makes the heart better. It makes us it builds character. And it also helps us to lean on the Lord if we take this season and do it the way it should be done, which is just lean on him and surrender to him and keep telling him what you're going through, and don't give up, and importantly, stay in worship. Just say, Lord, I love you. Get your mind, when you worship in the Lord, it helps you get your mind off of the things that you're going through. And even if you feel those things still, it's okay. It's okay to feel them. Okay, I want to remind you, it's okay to feel sad. You don't need to run to a doctor and get medication. I'm not saying that. Well, I'm gonna say it like this: I personally am not gonna run to the doctor when I feel sad. I'm gonna allow that feeling to come and let it, because I understand, it's a feeling, and I'm gonna ride that wave, because sometimes when we're in that dark season, the enemy wants you to throw in the towel. He wants you to get on some medication. I remember when I had hurt my back, and the doctor, this is like over 20 years ago, I hurt my back, and the doctor gave me, I think it was Valium. And when I went to go to sleep, I started hearing voices with profanity, and I was like, what the world? And I was in the military, so I had a roommate. And I woke up and I was like, you hear that? She was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, you don't hear that? This voice is cursing, profanity. And she was like, no, I don't hear that. Okay, she looked at me looking at me like I was crazy. But anyway, so then she turned the light off and we went back to sleep, and I heard it again. So you know what I did the next day? I went to that doctor. I said, do not give me this. I gave her back that medication. And so sometimes, I'm just saying, you have to be careful what you put in your body, okay? I remember taking psychology, and I remember listening to this man's story. It was like really sad. He dealt with, anxiety. He was, it was like very strong. And so he had got some medication for that. But what happened was, he said, this is what he was saying. He said basically that medication had caused him just to be numb. He was married, and he had kids, but it caused him not only not to feel anxiety, it caused him not to feel anything. He was just numb. So he wanted to get off the medication, but he'd been on the medication for like over 10 years. And unfortunately, when he tried to get off the medication, it was so hard for him. It was so hard for him, to the point he had to get back on the medication. It was really sad. And not only did he get back on that medication, he had to take some Prozac with it too. Like, it was really sad. He tried to wean himself off, and he couldn't. So, we just have to be very careful about those things too. So overall, please do not just go seek external comforts. Start journaling, talk to the Lord, meditate, be still, and know that He is God. One thing that, is going to extremely, tremendously help you is spending time with the Lord. I mean, I'm telling you, He's the one that really will give you what you need. Now, there will be times that, well, I'm going to say I don't go through that no more, but during, in my past with the Lord, I remember it was like sometimes I didn't feel His presence and stuff like that for a long, long time. But I know so what I did was lean on my past experiences that I had with Him, and that's what helped me get through until He came through, and I was able to feel His presence again. And also the scripture says He will never leave you nor forsake you. And so anyways, fast forward, now I spend time with the Lord, and I'm telling you, I feel amazing. It's such a wonderful, euphoric feeling. And all I do is just sit there and I just, meditate on Him. And it's just like, be still and know that He is God. Just enjoy His presence. I don't have to be saying nothing. I could just enjoy His presence. But one thing that comes from also is that you have to cultivate that relationship with Him, that intimacy. You have to cultivate that relationship with Him, so you could be able to start really enjoying that well. It says, of living waters, that it just bubbles up. It's just so much. It's so many ways that you can explain it, but I'm gonna just tell you, this is the best. I mean, this is my relationship with the Lord has never been better, and I'm just hoping that it gets better than this. So anyways, so I just wanted to share that, say that, anybody who's going through things, please learn to face your emotions. It's okay. Do journaling, spend time with the Lord. And also, I want you to know you have to understand you have options. Sometimes we feel like we only have one, like I mentioned in my last YouTube video. Sometimes we think we only have, one option, but you have so many other choices, other options. You just don't know it. And so that's why I say reading, listen to podcasts, things that are educational. Never stop being teachable. Never stop learning, because when you stop learning, you feel you just stuck now. You're only gonna go but so far. And so I know, like, young people, when they get out of high school, and some don't want to go to college, which is cool. You don't have to go to. I'm gonna tell you, you don't have to go to college, but you need to continue to grow and learn. Okay, because that's what's going to help you still feel like motivated and encouraged, and start having goals again, and understand that, life is going to be good. So, I would suggest, like I mentioned once again in my last video, if your life was perfect, what would you have? What would you be doing? And write those things down and make it as goals. Okay, and that could be like your North Star. Like, okay, now I have wrote these things down. I could start, what do I need to be able to pursue these things? What do I need? Do I need to read? What kind of material do I need to read? Do I need to take a course? Who knows who's on YouTube, who knows about these things? And let me start listening to them, and then I can start implementing those things. So, I just want to basically just come on here and encourage, anybody who feels like life is like, you don't care, and you feel like you're at a point that you don't care. I'm asking you to start caring again. If you just needed someone to tell you to start caring again, I'm telling you to start caring again. Start believing. Start having hope again. It's a choice. And you have to do an exercise. So do what I said do. Write down certain things, the goals that you want, and start going forward and be consistent. Because a lot of times, we won't be consistent. Do it when you don't even feel like doing it. And another thing is, look at people who are doing it. You got to renew your mind. If you've been feeling depressed, look at things that are filled with positivity. Listen to people who overcame depression. Okay? Just choose to stop looking at things that are not promoting positive things, higher frequency, and look at things that do have a higher frequency. So basically, just continue to keep going. Give yourself grace. You're not going to know everything from the door. And if you've been here, like how long as I've been here, you're in your 40s or even older, I want you to know you can still go forward. You can still believe. You can still want change in your life. Okay? So I just want to say God bless you, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye for now.